Welcome everyone to the Pantheon. I am Ray,
And I'm Evie.
and today we're looking at Planet Halt, an animated movie. It's a runtime of 81 minutes. It's PG-13. It's classified as an action adventure animation. It is written by Greg Park, who wrote the actual comic book strip that was based on the
Mhm.
comic books it's from, and it's co-written by Craig Kyle, a major producer who's done Hulk versus and a bunch of other big animation movies. Directed by Sam Liu. Sam Liu is a major big animation director. He's done Killing Joke. He's done Hulk versus. He's done Batman Year One, and a bunch of DC movies. Where there's Justice League, Teen Titans, a bunch of animated movies. So these guys are the top of their game for the DC comic book universe. But this is, of course, Marvel, and this is what we'll say is an epic because it bridges. Well, for those who read comic books, it bridges what would become World War Hulk. But before we do that, Evie, talk to us about this movie.
Well, it was good. Kind of reminds me of of Gladiator.
Mhm.
With I guess both of the main characters being in a coliseum fighting for their lives, along with other people. In a fight to actually survive. And yeah, I thought it was really well done. I was uh, I was happy like they put in Thor as well, a second movie, you know, and seeing part of I guess his backstory with I guess people that actually look like him and and yeah, and so you have a little of his backstory then, who he has to fight, and then uh, from there, you see Hulk kind of feeling sad. He doesn't have a friend in the world or whatever. Which is sad, makes you feel sorry for him. But still, it was, I like the story. It was sad too, but also good.
Really, it does fill in the gaps between Thor Ragnarok and what happened after Civil War. Because the last time we see Hulk, and this is how we open up too, uh, Hulk is on a plane flying away from Civil War.
Hmm.
He's cut off, cloaked. He's cloaked from Shield, so they can't track him. So, and then we realize, where has he been for the last 2 years? He's been in
Right.
Sakaar for it's established for 2 years, and the
Hmm.
possibility is that he got sucked into some kind of wormhole and ended up on this
Hmm.
planet.
Hmm.
And the person you're referring to is Beta Ray Bill, because if you look at Thor Ragnarok on this tower when they there's a scene where they pan up and it looks like a goat on the statue. That's
Yeah.
Beta Ray Bill in the
Okay.
actual Thor Ragnarok movie. And
Oh,
so
wow.
when Craig Park wrote this, they made sure that they include that little Easter egg in the film. So by watching the animated movie, they kind of pay homage to that kind of concept.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this movie has a lot was a lot to go into, because if you watch the cartoons Agents of Smash, or is it called Smash?
Hmm.
Because Hulk has a son,
Yeah.
and we find out how he gets a son. This is the movie that establishes like how he falls in love and he's able to get and have a son. They don't explore that fact, but this is where it begins from here.
Right. Yeah.
Planet Hulk, yeah. What we alluded to earlier, because he's such a threat to mankind, he was put on the ship and
Hmm.
crash landed by
Bandit.
accident
Yeah.
on in this. Now, where it diverges from Civil War stories, that he was purposely put on a ship. This one was an
Hmm.
accident. And in terms of the comic books, you have the thing called the Avengers Illuminati, where you have a secret organization within the superhero community. That's
Hmm.
Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Reed Richards, Black Bolt, and it would also be Professor X.
Hmm.
But you don't see him. He's actually absent in the video. If you follow World War Hulk, which is the cartoon series, I really 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 want to have. That is that I think I bought the entire comic book collection for World War Hulk. It is when the Hulk, because he's like World Breaker Hulk. He's just like really like ticked off, and
Hmm.
he wants to kill everybody or go after everybody, and
Yeah.
he goes after everybody who screwed him over onto this planet. And
Hmm.
but the irony is like he found happiness in the end, which is what happens in the movie.
Hmm.
I just think the Red King was interesting. That storyline with that and the spikes and all these little sub stories and this
Hmm.
world. He's such a character who's harsh, but is always looking for internal peace.
Hmm.
Uh, and this is a representation of that in on some kind of meta way. And then there's a prophecy of the Hulk, which really fits his character. Like, there's a scene where there's a guy foretelling a prophecy, and then of course that's when the Hulk arrives, and it fits
Hmm.
the Hulk to a T. And it's just interesting how they mesh this alien story prophecy with the Hulk, and it kind of makes sense.
Hmm.
And it's these impossible odds, and they kind of like work together. Um, I thought the action was really great for a
Hmm.
film that I honestly I wasn't really wanting to see this cartoon, but it surprised me how well it was done.
Hmm.
Also, it explains how he got intelligent. That was one of the big questions. I was like, how does he go from being um, a simple-minded brute to a person who is relatively intelligent? And they answer that question with the technology that's imposed on him when he's captured.
Hmm.
And we don't have to talk about this part, but like they talk about his higher brain functions and how that gets altered, and that it purposely enhances his intelligence, indirectly. And so that was interesting because I had no idea. Because I figured, well, how does he go like for 2 years or whatever it is in terms of this movie, and then with this one, how does he become intelligent or have a vocabulary?
Hmm.
It's simplistic, but it's engaging. The idea of a warbound, like what
Hmm.
that really means.
Hmm.
There are between these characters, like, and you meet Korg for the first time, and how
Hmm.
he's interpreted in the actual comics,
Hmm.
as opposed to the Taika Waititi character in the movie, which is more funnier,
Hmm.
but it's truer to the written page. And I just like the idea, and then the idea of the Illuminati, and the idea of how this sets up for World War Hulk, and also
Hmm.
how this bridges Civil War to where we are now, so
Hmm.
Ragnarok. This cartoon bridges both comic book as well as the MCU gaps.
Hmm.
So that was really. I mean, it's not 100% makes sense, but it does. If you give yourself some imaginational room, you can fill in the gaps to see how where Hulk's been and how it
Hmm.
comes across. So that was, for me, that was really great. How would you
Cool.
rate this?
It being a cartoon,
Mhm.
like, it was fine. The story was good,
Right,
and and I like seeing the backstory of Hulk to
right.
which really caught me, and seeing a bit more of, I guess, the Hulk's life and Thor's life as well. It's
Mhm.
good. It's good, like, to see another piece of both their lives, and who knows where it could go.
Okay, well, in that case, we'll end the show off, and I'll say I am Ray.
And I'm Evie.
We'll talk to you next week. Take
Later.
care.